Good afternoon. It is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming from you for a different angle. So you can see out my window. It's towards the end of the day. Thankfully, it's still light out. And I realised it was actually, I wasn't even sure that I was going to get on today. I always say I have such great plans for the weekend, and then it sort of ran away from me, and that's what happened today. And then I was like, am I going to go on? There's certain things that I wanted to share with you. So I was like, even though it's the end of the day, I always think I do better. I'm a morning, well, I used to be a morning person, but now I am actually not such a morning person. I'm just going to turn off, hang on. Okay, so that's quieter now. So the dog's taking a nap. So let's hope all's well for a short time so that I can actually, so I'm just listening to the dragons. They're saying it's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting few weeks, but definitely an interesting week. I actually had my Akashic records read, and there were not too many surprises for me because I knew some of it. What I am surprised at is what I need to work on. And I think I know I've talked to a couple of people about this, but it appears to me that, I've been doing lots of work and I haven't been feeling that I've been moving forward. I felt extremely stuck. And all I kept hearing, and this was literally, even when I learnt the Akashic records, they allowed me to go so far, and then they said, no, you need to stop, you need to work on yourself. That was when the Akashic dragons came to me. I did all the work with my chakras, learnt about it, really felt drawn to running a class because it was something I really wanted to share because it was so beautiful. And I got a sort of no. And I was just feeling, I guess the word was defeated. I'm like, I'm doing, and I'm not producing. And that's all about me. I know that. It's all about what I think I should. And so I'd mentioned that I actually had my son had his Akashic records read. And I have to say, for somebody who has struggled for so many years, it warms my heart to see like the burdens lifted off him is all I can say. But what I wanted to talk about is what I've learned is what I always preach, but I don't ever take my own advice. And it was very clear in my Akashic records that I have to do the work. I've done lots and lots of work on myself, and that was evident in the Akashic records. But there's some stuff that I just can't do on my own. So I decided about a week ago, before I had my Akashic records read, that I had to do something different. So I am going to take this time for me, because everything I try to do, my message is that not just that I need to rest, I need to go inward. And I think lots of people have been hearing this message about go inward. This is where all our knowledge is. This is where everything we know and everything we need to know is within us. And that's what I need to do. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to still continue to, put things up on my Facebook page. And then this could be weeks, it could be months. I am not going to rush anything. I need to do it at a pace because I can't just go in there and just fix everything. I've got to do the work. It's actually, this month is my birthday month. On my birthday on the 14th is the huge lunar eclipse. And I also chose, so I'm never in, there's a saying in England, we say in for a penny, in for a pound. So I'm not somebody, I just decided, you know what, let's go for it all. So not only am I going to be deeply looking at all of the things that I need to work on and get them moving. I mean, I already feel so much better, just a load, having my records cleared. but there's work to be done, and I know that. And here I am. I feel like, I mean, I've known, I have to say, I honestly have known that I needed to do deep work, and I kept brushing it off, right? A lot of us do that because I've never put myself first. And I can say that hand on heart. And I learned the reasons why. It's clearly all in my Akashic records. So that was exciting, but it's also sort of sad to know that I've come this far, which, as I make no, I don't hold my age back. I'm going to be 72. And I'm like, wow, it's taken me 72 years to get here to say I have to do that work. But it would have taken me this long anyway. So there we are. So the dragons have, so I do, apparently I've had dragons with me forever. And not just in this lifetime, in many of my lifetimes. And they're gathering around me, and they're saying, you know, they're cheering me on, and they're really a support. But I think that the message I want to give to everybody today before I do the cards is don't put it off. Don't put off all those times when you go, yeah, I know. I know. I think I was also, I mentioned this, I know, that I even didn't want to go into, I've always wanted to be able to read Akashic Records for people. And that's why I took the classes with Casca, because I really thought that's what I wanted. But guess what? I needed to do that. Not because I needed to do it, because I needed to go deeply into my Akashic Records. And so the fun thing is, so there was a lot of confirmations for me. So it was fun to find out. I'd known for quite some time that I originated from Mars. So I'm a Martian, which is, to me, sounds funny. So I'm a Martian, but I wasn't there for a long time. I was actually Sirius B, which is a planet not far away. My son comes from actually a planet that exploded from the astral belt. So he came from there. I spent many lifetimes on Sirius B, and I have a lot of those traits. But my heart and my soul, I've been taken to Mars quite a few times, and not shown pretty pictures of Mars right now. And it's like, so the message I got the last time they took me to Mars and I recognized it as Mars, it was burnt. There was nothing. There was nothing. And I'm like, what? And they were like, this is what is going to happen if Earth does not start taking notice. So that's the big message. Like, we need to start taking notice, because we will be scorched earth. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But there was some fun to this as well, knowing that, wow, now it's been confirmed by somebody else that I originated in Mars. And so along with doing the work that's going to come up, and working with somebody who's got beautiful energy, and will hold my hand through all of this, it is, I decided as well that if I was going to be doing this, and this, and the affirmations and all things go with it, I'm going to do a full moon cleanse. So starting next weekend, 5 days before the full moon, 5 days after the full moon. Something, again, I've known that I've needed to do, and I've put off. So as I said, in for a penny, in for a pound, I'm going for it, right? I've done it before when I needed to come off some medication. I'm like, let's just stop. I mean, I'll just cold turkey, because it's better to just stop. So you may find there are times that I am missing, or I don't do. I like doing these weeklies. Yesterday, I actually got a message. The dragons were making some suggestions for me, which was nice, rather than telling me. And they were like, maybe you want to go on and channel, maybe sort of, just channel a message, rather than trying to think, oh, should I do cards? Should I do this? So I'm going to sit with that. I mean, the dragons will always come through, and I will always channel somebody. I also looked through, if you've been on my YouTube, I guess I've been doing clips for YouTube for about 2 years now. And I went back over a couple of my shorter ones, which were about less than 15 minutes. And And wow, there was some pretty powerful messages there, which are very relevant to now. So a lot of these messages that those of us that channel that we get are pretty timeless, which means when you find them, and it means that you need that message. So if you've got some time, just go back and look at some of those shorter. Some of them look like I was doing like 2-minute reels. That's how I started, but then I sort of progressed to 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Oftentimes I would write down the messages that I received. I remember I was getting messages from archangels, angels, dragons. There was a lot of divine feminine stuff. So sometimes it's good to go back and look at what you were doing or what you were talking about to see where you've come. So I think that's always good. I'm always good to give people advice. I don't take my own advice. So I'm going to listen. I am going to step back, go inwards, and I will share with you, as you know, this journey is not just for me to learn, but as all of you probably know this, but as we heal others. So it isn't, and again, we have to step away from that being selfish. When we decide to take time, it isn't us being selfish, it's what's needed. And for me, it's got to the point where everybody was basically putting their hands up and saying, no. It happened, I'm glad it isn't like it's happened to me before, which was way back 25 plus years ago. I went through a very difficult divorce. Eventually, I breezed through it. I'm always being one of these people this is what you see, but it's not what's going on inside. You know, I had teenage boys that were struggling in school, had learning disabilities, mental illness was showing up in both of them. And I just kept moving through it. And one morning I went to get out of bed and my body went, no, you're not getting up, you're not moving. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not moving? And they were like, you have not listened. We've been telling you and telling you. So you need to stop. And now we've put you in bed on your back and you can do nothing. And I could do nothing for months. It was about 4 to 6 months. I had to stop working, which of course put more pressure on me because of money. But I mean, there was no way. I had a huge flare-up of inflammation. I mean, like every part of my body hurt. What I know now and what I've seen in other people is that was the trauma. That was all of that stuff what I do is I push it down, right? And I'm sure some of you can recognize that. You either become an overeater, an undereater, you become controlling, but anything that came, I would push it down. Why would I don't need to see this? Just push it down. And guess where it settled? In my sacral area, in my lower back, in my solar plexus. It settled because that's where I pushed it. When I have flare-ups, it's like an arthritis type flare-up. And I've had some of those this past few months. Couple of times I've had to take a few days off work. If you may remember last year, I had a kidney infection. Never had a kidney infection in my life. Never had all the things that go with it, just out of the blue. They were messages, right? I was not paying attention. I am going to pay attention. So the dragons are behind me and they're like doing this with their fingers. They're going, yes, you need to pay. So I feel very much mothered by them. So that's my message to you is if you're thinking you should, maybe I should, put yourself first, because I work with families and I often tell the parents that usually it's mum, but it could be dad, if they're not doing well, then nobody's doing well. So, you know, if somebody in that chain's broken, then everybody's screwed, right? So please listen to your inner voice, whatever it is you need, whether it means that you take a couple of days off work, whether it means you go and spend the day in bed, do it. If you're called to do other things, do it. What I did find, which was I didn't think I was going to do it, I actually had a scheduled Reiki session with somebody, and I didn't think after the morning of hearing about all the stuff, I wasn't sure. That's the other thing that I do a lot of. I second guess myself, and I wasn't sure, should I do this, whatever. Anyway, I did it, and wow, hugely different just with having my Akashic records. It sort of was like somebody pulled a veil. That's all I can say. It's like it cleared. So, don't be afraid to do these things, because all it's doing is setting ourselves free. That's what I'm hearing. It's like you're going to be set free. And that's a beautiful thing, right? So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to pull us some cards. There's been some interesting patterns this past week. If you followed me this week with the cards that I've shared, some days there won't be any because I have a full-time job, and sometimes I have to be out the house like at 8:30, and I'm, as I was starting to say, I used to be a morning person. I was very much the annoying, hello, good morning. Everybody hated me because I was the only person that was happy. I'm not so much an early morning person. I just need everybody to stay away from me. It doesn't even mean I need coffee. It's just stay away from me. Don't get in. I have a routine, and I don't like it broken. So that's what happens when you get older, right? But it means I can get, if I get my routine done, then I can get out of the house or get started on my day. So the wind dragon came up a lot. So we've had a lot of wind here, which I found interesting. So I know that I need that to blow away the cobwebs. I can't even remember what the other ones that have come up now. But there were certainly themes, and people seem to definitely feel what was coming up. So if you have comments, if you would, what I do need to tell you, this coming Thursday, the three dragon sisters, as we call ourselves, that's V, Dina, and myself, are doing our intimate dragon circle. It's no more than 12 people. It's about 2 hours. We get together and we do card reading, we do art, channeled art, and just generally talk. And it's no more than 12 people. I think there's still some slots left, which means, when you do these group readings, that the messages that resonate with everybody. It's always fun as well. So if you feel drawn to that, we've got some, I don't think it's our usual group of people. We've got some newcomers to that group. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It's, if you go, actually, I just posted on my Facebook page earlier. If you're interested, you can connect with me. I can send you the link. It's $44 for the three of us. So you're going to get at least 3 readings. And you can ask questions. So it's fun. So if you're interested and you want to come, let me know. Or there's a link on my Facebook page. So let's see, we've got elder wisdom. So the elders have been speaking. Oh, that's right, the guardian. That's right, a lot of guardian cards. There's a fire guardian today, or for this week. The fire guardian is ignite your passion. So to me, that's that's lighting a fire under you is what I'm hearing. Oh, the water guardian that's interesting. The water guardian was behind. This deck is Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. I love this water guardian. I think she's very pretty. She's almost angelic. But she's the water guardian. Connect with your emotions. So we've got fire, which is interesting. Fire, ignite your passion, and connect with your emotions. They don't always go together if you think about it. Sometimes when we're fired up, we're not. Oh, actually, fired up, it's an emotion. I was thinking more that water on fire, but no, that's so fire guardian, ignite your passion. Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. And it's Pisces. So we're like in about the middle of Pisces season. The planets were all aligned Friday. This is Sunday. Unfortunately, where I live in the northeast, it was cloudy. I couldn't see one planet, couldn't even see the top of the trees. And then the mountains have shown up. Stand your ground. So whatever's happening for you this week, oh look, it goes with my top, the orange. So what I'm hearing is whatever is happening for you. So if you've come across this video, this is saying this is definitely for me this week about standing my ground, because I will need to stand my ground this week in my job. It was time for me to speak up, so I did. So, you know, if you don't, I'm at the end of my career, and I have to think about the people that are going to be coming after me. And I work for the state of Massachusetts, so it can be very competitive. We're also in a state of flux because we don't know about budgets and stuff like that. So this is definitely speaking to me, but I know it's going to speak to some of you. The Mountain card is about standing your ground this week. You stand your ground. You've got water, which will keep you flowing. You've got fire, because you're going to be igniting that passion, igniting what you're passionate about. And then the elder wisdom, move beyond ancestral patterns. I always love this. I love this down here. I've always enjoyed this card. And I love all it feels, there's turtles. It's almost like cave. If you look at it, it's like cave etchings. But definitely the guardians and the elders. So that's the message from them. And then these 3 dragon cards. Oh, here we go, grounding again. So grounding keeps coming up. Grounding, grounding, grounding. We've got the ancients and we've got Atlantis. Oh. So yes, Earth dragon. So Mother Earth is screaming. This keeps coming up. Grounding. We need to ground ourselves, but we also need to be very aware of. So I'm hearing be very aware of the toxicity that is happening around all of us, and it's going to seep into the ground. And Mother Gaia is like up to here. This is interesting. I am British. I've lived here a very long time, but these like old things are going, I'm up to here, up to here. I remember my parents, like if they were frustrated with us, they'd be like, I'm up to here with all of your going ons. Yeah, but that's what Mother Earth is saying. Like she's up to here. She's 80% pissed off. And another 20%, and it's going to be too much for her. And she's warning us again about volcanic eruptions. We know that these have all been predicted. Earthquakes. I'm seeing water and volcanoes, so probably Hawaii. The ancient elder dragon moving you. Oh, so the ancestors are saying, move beyond these patterns. We can't get stuck in what happened before. And I'm not watching TV, not doing that. But what I hear from other people is we're stuck in patterns. We're stuck in ancestral patterns about the past, the past, the past, the past. The past is the past. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it. All we can do is move forward. All we can do today is to take care of ourselves, to love ourselves, and move forward and take that step every day. Step forward. So the elder dragons are saying, move beyond ancestral patterns. The elder card here was saying the same. Move beyond ancestral patterns. So, you know, when you get 2 cards, right? And this is the cards for this week. When you get these 2 cards that are saying, move on, I feel like we're going, move, stop being stuck. There's too much old energy is what I'm hearing. Too much old energy stuck. And it's like, let's move. Let's get moving, people. So whatever that means, take from that. I always say, take what resonates with you. And then the Atlantis has come up again, I want to say, nearly every day. Hercules, who is, of course, super strength, superhero, but he's also can be a great friend. So this is Hercules. He's the Atlantis dragon. And he is coming in with his super strength. Oftentimes when this comes up, it's like you need a superhero. So think of any of those cartoons, superfigures, yeah, you know what I mean. Like Superman, I always think of Hercules, strength, but he's a really, really good friend. He says he's not going anywhere. He will be here. He will be your friend. He will be just with you, is what I'm saying. He's like standing behind me right now, sort of like this, like I'm here. Okay. So also they're asking me to remind you that your dragons are not far away, but you do have to ask them to help you. It's the same with the angels. It's the same with the angels are all around us. The archangels are all around us, but we have to ask them. Actually, I heard something, and I'm trying to remember who it was. It was a podcast where somebody was, Pam Gregory, was interviewing somebody about angels and archangels, and they said the angels say the same thing, that we need to ask them, but it was also when we want something from them, and I'm going to take this from anybody you're asking for help, any of your guides, you need to say it out loud. Sometimes, we all have those conversations in our head. Well, I say, or a lot of us do. That conversation in your head when you're asking for help. Try it. I've been doing my affirmations out loud, and it starts off with I'm sort of talking quietly. But the one thing I've noticed sitting with my son when he's doing his affirmations. Oh, and by the way, a couple of you asked about, could I share these affirmations? Now, these affirmations are to do with our Akashic records. So they're not really something that would help you unless you're working on that. It's not that I don't want to share it with you. It's just they're personalized affirmations. Because what has come up for us and what has been cleared, we need to do 21 days of affirmations. It's that, making that new pathway, the new neural pathway, 21 to 28 days, you can change habits. So it's not that I don't want to share them. I've also been thinking as well, the dragons have such wonderful things they tell me that maybe I should be doing some dragon affirmation cards. I do have a deck that I was sharing a while ago, which everybody loved. They were these little cards. So maybe that's something I will work on as well as I get these messages. That was a thought, and I'm sure there are dragon affirmations out there. But mine are from collectives. The other thing that's also, I'm remembering now, that has also come up for me certainly this last week is more connection to the galactics. So for quite a long time, I was working with galactic beings and galactic dragons, and they're telling me it's like full circle. I don't know why I'm going this way, because that's interesting, because you should go that way. So they're going full circle. You're going full circle. And there's going to be more messages now that I've woken up to where my soul originated from. Once I start connecting more with those ancestral threads, they're telling me there's going to be more information coming in from the galactic realms. I do my intention. I am going to set some intentions as well while I do this work. And it's somewhat exciting. I know I've shared before that a few years ago, before I stepped into this world of dragons and healing, I took a year to journey to see where it took me, which brought me here, brought me into this sort of realm of, and it was, around mid-COVID, I think, where a lot of us were. I mean, I had the time as well to do it. I found a couple of communities that I joined, but I'm now understanding why. So Martians are very lonely, there's a lot of reasons I know why that, some community, I don't know, some things just don't work. And I've learned that I can't just hang on. So I'm learning a lot, and I will share it with you. And I think for me, it's always been about I have to experience things before I can share them, before I can, help other people with them. Because I truly believe that you don't understand trauma unless you've been there. You don't understand what it's like to be a parent until you've been a parent. You don't understand what it's like to be a parent of a kid that has mental health issues or behavioral health issues unless you've been there. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I know it must be hard. Like, no, people don't know how hard it is. They don't know what it's like to have a kid that wants to kill themselves, not just once, but many times. And they say, oh, it must be hard. But, sometimes I would go nights of not sleeping, worrying about what was going on. And of course, worry is a useless thing. But of course, when we don't know better, we worry. So thank goodness, we are where we are. I have to count my blessings for all of that. And I've always said that I wouldn't, there were two paths, and we often have choices. And when I made choices, it took me down a different path, because I know if I'd have stayed on another path, I would have known the outcome. The path I took was one I didn't know the outcome, and I'm still taking that path because I still don't know what's next. So, if I'd have chosen to go down I know where we're going, I wouldn't have been happy. I wouldn't have met such wonderful people that I've met. I wouldn't have even, I think my healing abilities would have been even more squashed. So I'm thankful for that. And I've said this many times to people that know me, that my experience of life has been much more colourful. I've had struggles, like we all have, but I've learned from them. And where I am today is what I've achieved. Nobody else has done it for me. Nobody's made the money that I've made. It's all mine. Whereas before, it always felt like it wasn't mine. So I've come a long way, and I have to give myself credit for that. But still a lot more work to do, right? So, because I really don't want to come back and do all this over again. I'm tired. For years, I have said, I really want to get it sorted out this lifetime, because I think I have other things to do on other planets. So I need to, go there when my time's ready, but that's not yet, because I still have to do things here. So I hope everybody has a good week. If you want to connect with me, please email me at eastcoastdragonlady@gmail.com. My website is www.eastcoastdragonlady.com. If it's the first time catching me on YouTube, I'd love you to subscribe. And I don't even know where all that is, but when I watch other people's, but I always forget to ask people to subscribe. If you like what you've heard, go over to my website. I do have a menu of things that I'm offering right now, and in view of what I've just told you, I am still available to do healing, card reading, and even if you want advice, or you find yourself in a similar situation. I live in the world of mental health. I don't like saying mental illness; it's mental health. My son, I've dealt with it since my son was a kid, and he's now an adult. And there are lots of challenges in that. And anybody that's experiencing that, you have to experience it. But there's lots of support out there. So that's all I'm going to say. So have a good week, and I will see you soon.